once again everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I've sort of figured out a lighting situation that doesn't suck really bad, because usually when I film in here it looks super like orangey and yellow and it just doesn't look right. And as you can see by the glare in my glasses, I have got a new light pointed directly at me so that it doesn't look so horrible, but I can't really help this glare in my glasses, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. This is gonna have to be our little lighting filming setup for a little bit, because this is the best I can do. I'd like to think that this is semi-aesthetically pleasing. It could be worse. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video that you actually wanted to see, that you clicked on this video for, and that is my second anti-haul, because who doesn't like saving money on products that just are not worth the hype or the money? So let's just jump right into this. I guess I'll preface this by saying that these are my opinions, obviously. This is not the end-all, be-all, like, just because I don't like a palette doesn't mean that you can't buy it. I'm just trying to help you make more thoughtful, informed decisions about what you're buying so that you don't just waste money. But like I said, this is just my opinion. If you want to buy all of these palettes, 3 of these palettes, however many, go ahead, be my guest. This is just my opinion. Okay, so the very first palette that I want to talk about is getting a lot of hype right now. I think it's actually out. I don't know. Today is June 13th, but I do believe that this palette has already come out, and it is the Lorac Pro 3 palette. I was really excited about this at first because I was like, awesome, this is going to be great. It's going to be like, sort of like a Naked 3 palette, super rosy and everything, and then I looked at it and I was like, this isn't that rosy. Yes, there are a few rosy shades in it, but there aren't a ton. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I have been really loving rosy shades lately. I even did a review of a Wet n Wild palette that I thought was just going to be rosy and beautiful and amazing, and it kind of fell flat. But I'll link that down below for you guys if you want to see that. Anyway, I'm going to assume that this palette costs the same as all the other Pro palettes, which is like $42, something like that. I don't know. I'm going to have everything in the description or on the screen so that you will know. Anyway, I just don't think that this is like worth it. I have the first two. I have the Pro and the Pro 2, and I love Lorac shadows. Those are probably my favorite shadows to use because they're so creamy, so buttery, so easy to use. But at the same time, it's like, this palette does not stand out to me. When I look at 1 and 2, they're just beautiful neutral palettes, but for somebody who already has a lot of neutral palettes, this is not a necessity for me. I know everyone's been giving it super rave reviews and everything, but I just can't get on that bandwagon. I was super on it at first, and then I like looked at it in depth. That's something that I do. If I want something, I make sure that I want it because I don't want to waste my money. That's just what I do. I research and research and research. Like, I'll spend days researching a product before I just buy it. I'm not really one for spur of the moment purchases because I like to be absolutely sure that I know what I'm getting and I'm like totally invested in it. So the next product that I want to talk about is the Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette. Okay, I really had high hopes for this palette just looking at it straight on. Like, when I first looked at it, I was so hyped about this. I think Jeffree Star is a makeup genius, like, just amazing channel, amazing lipsticks. I don't own any of the lipsticks, but I know people who have them, and I've like seen them in use, and they just look amazing. And I don't know why I haven't bought any yet because I'm a loser. But anyway, that's not what this is about. This palette, The shades are unique, but I think it was maybe Tara Babies or somebody, I think it was Tara Babies, who talked about this palette, and she did not give it a super good review. She said that a couple of the shades were really hard to use. I think the gold one, I don't remember the name, the gold shade in it, she said was just really hard to use and she didn't like it. At the end, like after I'd watched all these reviews and everything, there were only 3 shades in the palette that I really thought I would use. And even then, I have dupes for pretty much all of the ones that I wanted from this palette. The minty blue one, and then the light pink one, and the darker pink one were the ones that I wanted. Not the hot pink, but there's like a reddish pink one in the palette that I thought was really pretty, but I have a dupe for that already. If you guys want me to do a dupes video, I can do that. That's cool. Anyway, by the end of the day, I wasn't super into it anymore. You don't know, I was like this close to pressing buy now, but I didn't end up doing it just because, like I said, the colors to me are really, really pretty, and I know you get a ton of the product because the pans are like the size of Australia or something ridiculous like that, but for me, I just don't feel like I would use it. I feel like I would use it for a couple of weeks, then it would just go back in my collection and I would never pull it out again, which is not what I want when I buy a new palette. You know, the way that I personally decide if a palette, like if I actually need to buy it, is if I see it and I research about it and I decide not to buy it. But if I keep thinking about it and I keep going back to look at it, after a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, I will buy that palette if I was unsure about it before. Because in my mind, if you keep going back to look at something after you've seen all the reviews and everything, then you'll probably use it if you buy it. Because if you're just totally uninterested in something, then you won't go back to look at it again. But this for me was not one of those products. I went back and looked at it a couple of times, but now I'm kind of just over it. Which is really sad to say because I really had high hopes for this palette, but you know, it just didn't wow me, especially for the price, so I'm gonna pass on that. And unfortunately, keeping in the Jeffree Star brand, I'm not going to be getting any of the Skin Frosts not because they're not pretty, they are gorgeous, and I'm so glad that I read reviews on these products and watched videos of these products in use before I bought them, because I went online to buy one, like I was just gonna buy them, I wasn't even gonna look, because I just trusted that these would be bomb highlighters, like so good. I just expected the world of these, okay? But they were sold out except the green one, and I wasn't just gonna buy the green one, you know? So I went and watched some reviews, and I think Tara Babies, and I know a lot of other people use these in videos too, but I did not like the finish of them on the skin. I think Tara talked about this in her video. When you put it on your skin, not immediately, but after a few minutes, you will be able to see all of like the texture of your skin, and it makes it look so weird. Like, it's ridiculous. And I think you can even see it in Jeffree's video where he does like the whole face, full face with highlighters. Like, you can tell, you can like see the texture of the skin, and I don't like that. I know it's a highlighter, but it's not to highlight the texture of your skin, it's just to highlight the places. But I'm not going for that, because I have highlighters that I like and I use on the daily, and I'm not gonna like buy one just because it's Jeffree Star and because it's pretty if it's gonna make my face look ridiculous and weird, and I can't be doing that. I can't be blowing money on that. So that's the reason why I'm not buying those. Okay, so this next product is not necessarily a new product, which is pretty much what this video is about, but regardless, I'm still not going to buy this product, and I see so much hype about it. It is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. Everyone raves about this palette like it is the palette to end all palettes, and let me just tell you, it's not. If you're somebody who is just getting into makeup, then yes, this would be an amazing palette for you because it is a lot of super workable neutrals. Like, you can use these neutrals for anything and everything if you like neutral looks. However, tell me this. If you're somebody new to makeup, why would you first of all jump into Kat Von D? That's what I don't understand. And most of the people buying this are not new to makeup. It's beauty gurus here on YouTube. I understand wanting to try the formula and wanting to experiment and try the Kat Von D formula. However, if you have like all the Naked palettes, all the Lorac Pro palettes, every other neutral palette in existence, which a lot of these gurus do, why in the world would you need another neutral palette? I cannot tell you how many times I've almost bought this palette simply because of the hype on YouTube. And then I look at the palette and I say, oh, I already have these. I understand that it's all matte and that adds a lot of draw to it. However, in the Lorac Pro palettes 1 and 2, they have whole lines of matte shadows. And like, they're very similar to this. I just don't understand. It is a lot of money to blow on just neutral colors that you already have. Like, you already have it, I promise. If you're a makeup guru, if you're a makeup addict, you already have those colors. You really do. And it's like, I cannot fathom it. I can't. Because, like, that's the thing with Kat Von D palettes for me. Like, any palette that she has. They're so basic. Like, you would have to have no makeup to justify buying these. Like, even the Interstellar, that just seemed so blasé to me. Like, no. It's very cool toned, which I like, but I looked at all the colors and I was like, I already have those. I don't really want to buy it again. Like, cool, the packaging is pretty, but I don't need it. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with the Shade and Light palette as well. And again, keeping in this brand, I'm not going to buy those little tiny baby Kat Von D palettes that she's released now. I've swatched them in store and they're really great quality. They're super creamy, buttery eyeshadows, but they're really basic and I have them already. So I'm like, also the packaging is like plastic and I don't like that. I feel like if you're buying an expensive brand, granted this product is not super expensive, I think it's like $22 or something, but like, you should have some substantial, like, you should have a substantial case, or the product should have a substantial covering on it, you know, like, it's just like with those lunatic cosmetic lipsticks. The plastic on the case is like the cheapest plastic ever, and those are expensive lipsticks. So, Kat Von D, step up your game for these little bitty things. But like I said, I'm not gonna buy them anyway because they're super duper basic. Like, I really wanted to get one. Like, that's the thing. I will find any excuse. Personally, I will find any excuse to try to buy a new product that I just really want to try because of the brand or whatever. But when I do my research and everything and I can't find a valid reason, then I just can't get myself to get it. Like, and it sucks, but I just can't. I just can't do that. So all in all, I wouldn't get these because they're too basic and I already have these colors. But if you don't have some of the colors in the little, what are they? Are they quads? I think they're quads. If you don't have those colors, then go for it, but I'm pretty sure you probably do if you're as obsessed with makeup as I am. But I digress, and let's continue. So the last and final product that I have to talk to you about today is, drumroll, the Urban Decay Alice in Wonderland palette. know how badly I wanted to love this palette. I wanted to be so in love and just want it so bad. And I'm not saying that this is a bad palette, just like everything here. I'm not saying that they're bad products. I'm just saying that they don't fit my needs at this current time. So let's just jump right into this. Basically, the colors are super pretty, but I just can't see myself using this beyond the first week that I get it. And that's the problem. I guess I'm just not super into Urban Decay shadows. I love them. They're pretty and everything, but they're not the ones that I reach for. Like, I don't even hardly use my Urban Decay Vice palette. I've hardly ever. What is it, Vice 4? Yeah, I've barely touched it. Yet I've used my Lorac Pro 2 a ton, and I got them at the same time, and they're in the exact same Z palette. I just go for my Lorac ones. Urban Decay is just not the formula that I reach for when I think of, let me use something for my everyday makeup. I just don't. I go to Urban Decay if I need a bright color or a neutral color that I can't find anywhere else. It's kind of like my worst case scenario eyeshadows. It's not because they're bad, it's just because personally they're not the ones that I use every day and not the ones that I find that work best for me. They're not hard to work with, but they're not the easiest to work with, if you understand where I'm coming from. And I really hope you do, because I feel like everybody that I know loves Urban Decay. And I love Urban Decay, but they're not the best for me, personally. Like, I love my Naked 2 palette, but I don't ever use it. Why is that? Because I found things that I like better. So why would you revert back to something that you don't love if you have something very similar that you do love? Like, that's what happened when I got my Lorac Pro palettes. I stopped using my Naked palette because my Lorac palette substituted in for that, and the shadows were easier to work with and they were creamier and looked better when I finished my look. Like, I don't know. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? It's a beautiful palette, beautiful colors. I've swatched it in store, but I could never buy that because I could never use it. I know I would never use it, and I don't want to clutter up my makeup collection just to have it, you know what I'm saying? Because I know it is limited edition and everything, but I'm not just going to buy it just because it's limited edition. And that's something that I used to be really bad about, is just buying it because it was limited edition. But I can't do that. Like, if you're not going to use something, what's the point in even getting it, you know? So that's pretty much what I'm going to leave you guys with, because I don't have anything else to rant about right now. I'm pretty much good. So yeah, leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe because I make new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys once again for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!